the other thing that's sort of fascinating about this, Glenn Greenwald broke both these stories simultaneous with the Washington Post, but from my reading, it seems that Greenwald was the first one to get these documents. And from what I've read, it appears that these two revelations come from the same source. And my guess is, and I should be clear on this, I have no inside information as to this, but my guess is that there was some forethought to providing this information to both the Washington Post, even though the Guardian got it first, Glenn Greenwald got it first, to both outlets. One, because one was an American one, one's because it's a British. And also, I think, look, if I'm Glenn Greenwald right now, I know that there is every reason to believe that I am going to be, if not fully surveilled.
Look, I hope he's growing like a handlebar mustache right now. Maybe shaving his head, finding some new patterns of behavior. Because I know Glenn from way back. I haven't seen Glenn in a while, but I know him, and I'd be nervous, quite frankly.
Oh yes, and there was a piece, and there was a piece about him in the New York Times, which was one of those, I don't know, they were trying to make him seem like some type of alien being who can't keep friends, and I don't know, was half in his PJs all the time.
But the one that came out was like blogger Glenn Green, that whole thing, the one that was out the other day.
Yes, and
it was funny. I know
it's pretty stunning. But now we should just say there's some breaking news. President Obama has stated that this on PRISM. This does not apply to U.S. citizens, and it does not apply to people living in the United States. Now, the definition of that again is, from what we understand, that there's a 51%.
Always look beneath the words.
Right. There's a 51% chance that this does not apply to U.S. citizens.
Right. First of all, they can screw up, and luckily we know from drone strikes going awry and whole nations invaded that didn't actually do anything to attack us, that we never make mistakes on that level. So I feel pretty good that 51% will come through.
Now,
I mean, that we've never screwed anything big up. Right, so that's good.
Now, he qualified that with saying you can't have 100% security and 100% privacy. And that is...
But you try to find a little bit of a better balance than this.
That's exactly the point, right? I mean,
somebody excoriated me for this, but I'm just going to say this, and maybe you'll find this crass because you're from the area at least. But the Boston thing still happened, and... to me, if this is immoral to begin with, so I wouldn't really care if it prevented things, because you do have to find the right balance. And obviously, in an age of where there could be nuclear suitcases and there can be chemical weapons, ricin can be sent through the mail. There are some people who I don't think that things have been stopped, and this is a real threat. And as much as we've kept the terrorism count, and particularly in this country, low, all it takes is them getting through one time with a weapon of mass destruction, which now can happen, fit in a suitcase. But at the same time, you do have to balance that with the fact that there's a right to privacy, and for people just walking around innocently being tagged and watched and listened to is ridiculous if we're going to continue to call ourselves a democracy. So where's that middle ground? And so to me, this program's immoral. But again, let's go back to it. If this drag that they're sweeping everybody up in, if they're watching us online and they're recording our phone calls, then really shouldn't there be 100% success rate? I mean, the fact that something like what happened in Boston could happen, or what almost happened in Spokane, where there is a IED left next to a Martin Luther King Day march that just happened to be discovered by somebody walking by. There obviously are things that are still happening. So apparently we never can be fully safe, right?
Yeah, but I mean, look,
that makes this even that much more ridiculous.
Right. I mean, but we can't be safe from anything. And
that's right.
That's what I'm
trying to say here.
When we're talking about existential threats, when we're talking about threats on a mass level, but the Boston Marathon bombers could have been much worse theoretically. I mean, these guys could have continued on with what they were doing and had continually terrorizing the city. But the fact is, we're not talking about existential threats here. It's not like we haven't had periods of our history where people have been bombing things, and we also have no ability to sort of judge the efficacy of this. I mean, we know that guys like the NSA whistleblowers, the 4 or 5 of these guys, were in many respects blowing the whistle not just on this incredible invasion of our privacy, but also on the efficacy of the approach that the NSA was taking. You have all this data, it becomes that much harder if you do not target to actually find the things that you need to find. That's a great point.
You got too much crap lying around. It's like for anybody who's ever done a research paper before or anything else. I mean, an overwhelming amount of material makes it less effective. Less is more. Maybe they should put them up on the walls at the NSA.
And as we did an interview with Tim Shurik, who had dug deeply into these whistleblowers, and a couple of these whistleblowers were saying that prior to 9/11, we had a system that was far more targeted and far more effective, and then we outsourced this, which was basically just a huge corporate boondoggle. And so we don't know. I mean,
I like the idea of outsourcing that stuff to corporations, too. Because I find they always act in our best interest, so that's helpful.
We're going to talk about this in the better half of the program, but there is some the internet companies that have been sort of noted in this PowerPoint presentation that was leaked to Glenn Greenwald that discusses PRISM. They have all denied that they have been working with the government or providing the government with access to their servers. Now, there's a couple of different ways that you can interpret those denials. One, you can simply say that that's what they believe to be the case. Two, you could say that there is definitely very possibly, and we know that they received immunity under the amended FISA Act, that there's a possibility that their liability, I should say their lack of liability is tied into their having to deny at all times whether or not they're involved in this. Or you could parse their denials and say maybe they're not allowing the government to do this. Maybe it's contracted out to another company. There's been some speculation as to who that company might be. We will talk about this in the better half of the program. But so we just don't know the nature of these things, and we don't know the scope of these programs. We don't know the legal justification for these programs insofar as how it's being interpreted by the government. We don't know why these things are kept so secret, because in many respects, surely we have talked about in the past that there's an expectation, or at least there's an awareness that the NSA has been involved in this type of stuff, because we've talked to whistleblowers and reporters who have talked about it. I don't know if there's a broad awareness of this, but certainly if we're talking about it, there must be some awareness by those terrorists who supposedly want to do us harm, particularly on the scale that we're talking about and the level of sophistication we're talking about, that's going on. So why does that program have to be so secret? All of these are questions that are just hanging in the air right now. Do you think that people are going to it's a big deal for people like us.
Well, and people obviously have in the history of this country in many different iterations abused this kind of authority. It's not like we don't have a history, like most countries, of alien sedition acts, Palmer raids, J. Edgar Hoover. And so, to act like people should have no concerns. The classic sort of Lindsey Graham comment. If you're not a terrorist, you have nothing to worry about. Right. Which, by the way, I find really funny that Lindsey Graham, because he's not hiding anything. I'm sure they wouldn't discover anything in his phone calls.
Yeah, I'm sure he's got nothing that he's hiding. No skeletons in his closet, so to speak.
Right. Sometimes he has to take a call in the closet. He'll walk out of the closet sometimes to answer the phone, too. But I'm sure they won't discover anything with him. In any case...
He uses Sprint for those phone calls.
Yes, he certainly does. Or, well, I won't even go on with this. But I mean, look. I mean, common sense tells you that this stuff can be abused, and history tells you it always is. So, I mean, to think that people that have no connection to you, people far away in some center somewhere who don't know you, have no connection to your life, would necessarily take information. I mean, we're in that age right now where you go somewhere and in a day and you use your credit card a bunch of places, and obviously suddenly you find your card being charged because somebody stole a number, and there's sort of security issues for all of us that we have to deal with. There's just no choice in modern society. But there's other things that we shouldn't be exposed to and shouldn't have to deal with. And this just opens up a can of worms and creates such the possibility of abuse that the simplistic answers of, oh, don't worry, if you're not doing anything wrong, you'll be fine. I mean, anybody who can say that is just ignorant. I think often on purpose, is blissfully ignorant and chooses to be.
And the point is that our Fourth Amendment basically says you cannot be investigated, you cannot be searched unless there's some type of reasonable suspicion. And what we have here is clearly there is no target to this search. This is basically just in some respects, it's
the equivalent of cops just walking door to door and knocking on your door, coming into your house and looking for wrongdoing.
I mean, it's right, and I don't know. Maybe it's stop and frisk on some level.
I think in a lot of ways it is stop and frisk. Yes.
So I don't know. It's troublesome. Well, obviously, we're going to talk more about this on this program going forward, and like I say, in the better half, we'll talk about this story that.
Plus, what I find really exhausting is how much clearer I have to enunciate now to make sure the NSA understands me when I'm talking to you on the phone.
Well, I look. There's a couple of things that I think that the Obama administration could do to turn this thing around from a PR standpoint. One is start monetizing all that stuff that they're looking at, because if everybody gets an extra couple of clicks, this could be a good stimulus for the economy.
Give me a piece of the action. That's exactly right.
And then the flip side of that also is, imagine the company the NSA could set up in terms of geo-targeting advertising online. They've got all the data. So
that's a great point, too.
Maybe we could pay the NSA to provide us with our computer backups.
Exactly. Their new cloud
storage.
Or
think of the money they could get paid by, like, a TMZ or Politico. I mean, like the phone conversations of Mark Sanford.
Indeed. There you
know what I mean? So, like, that's got to be good stuff, right? The home computer self-picks of Anthony Weiner.
Michael.
I mean, I'm not saying I'm interested in that, but there may be some people out there who for some reason, find that strangely off-putting or compelling enough, kind of like a car crash that you can't look away from.
Yesterday,
I'm just saying, they can monetize this thing. They're smart people over there, theoretically.
Yesterday, the NSA, on their NSA Careers Twitter, put out they're looking for a digital network exploitation analyst development. What is this now? You've entered a secured site. Data you enter on the site is protected in transit. Oh, okay. Whatever you tell me, buddy. That's funny. They're looking for analysts right now. We need and maybe PR people as well.
I'm in, man.
This was pretty funny.
You basically, I think the best thing you can do to figure out if the NSA is listening is you just start off every conversation from now on the phone, and really end every conversation. You just go, NSA, yes, I'll say what? And if somebody says what from out there, you're in. They're there. That's what I'm doing anyhow.
This is from the head of the NSA, General Alexander. I guess at some cyber security conference. It is, quote, I'm an advocate of the cloud in terms of securing your material. I bet. All right. So let's move on. We're obviously going to talk about this more, but let's move on for a moment. And, I want to reiterate, it's good for Glenn Greenwald He knows he's walking into a crap storm here, and
Well, I mean, I don't always agree with Glenn, and I think personally, I think there's some histrionics sometimes in what he does. But that's my personal opinion. I also think that he does a lot of good because he's willing to talk about things and go places other people won't. And this is one of those examples where you need people who are willing to take these kinds of risks, because otherwise you never hear about stuff like this. So good for Glenn, and then seriously, I mean, I hope he's okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say. He's a man with more courage than I have.